Kaplan, please.
I just met a person 2 weeks ago. No one done something. A certain ha'ora with an iron came to my head. This person, he started coming to my father every Thursday morning to help him. Like this till now, I've been sitting there every day. I get there in the morning at 9 and stay there till 3. And he's most of the time sleeping. He needs help to go to the bathroom, and I help. And they got a person to come once a week. This person, he's a Haredi, and he's a Ben Torah, and he worked for different yeshivas, helping them when they were old. He has experience with these things, and he worked with Reb Dov Schwarzman for could be a few years even. So I was talking to him about, I knew Reb Dov Schwarzman a little bit from the time he lived in Beit Vegan many years ago. He had a yeshiva in Beit Vegan.
And we know his Chatan, he lives here.
His son,
His Chatan.
What's his name?
I see him in Ymer Shefer all the time.
Oh, yeah, right, Steinberg, yeah, right. Now, Rav Dov Schwarzman was a Odom Godel. He could have been one of the Gedolei Ador. And this is, what do I mean when I say could have been the Gadol Ador? Maybe he was the Gadol Ador. But it means to say there was one Rav Shach. He was like the leader of the generation in a certain sense. And he was famous, and he was it looked like he's the leader of the Litai world. It's not exactly true that he was the leader of the Litai world, because you don't hear what others said. And now they said there's a media, so they talked about him mostly. But there definitely are in the world other Talmidei Chachamim that are on the same level as Rav Shach, except they were quiet. In fact, I was just reading a book about Rabbi Avram Genachowski a few years ago. I used to see him more than 50 years ago. He would sit and learn in Kamenetz. Much later, I found out that he was really in Chubin. His whole life, he was a Rosh Yeshiva in Chubin, but he used to come to Kamenetz sometimes to sit there quietly in the Beis Medrash and learn. I saw him, he used to write Chidushei Torah. He was definitely one of the Gedolei Ador, but nobody ever heard of him. But he worked hard on hiding himself. So he could have paskined, but he always tried to get away from paskening. He would always send others. As definitely as they're on the same level as Rav Shach, I would say. Then there's Reb Dov Landa in Bnei Brak, that he's still living, and he also knows Qatar Kula clear. I would think he's also on the level of Rav Shach. But it's all Siyata D'Shmaya. It's all what was written in the Sefer of Adam Harishon. The V'Dorshav, the V'Chacham, who's going to be the leaders of the generation. And the problem is they were big Talmidei Chachamim that weren't machnia themselves to Rav Shach. But we didn't hear them because they were afraid to say anything. And Dov Landa was just as big as Rav Shach. And he sent a letter and that we don't need a Degel HaTorah, we don't need a party, the Bnei Torah don't have to be be something on their own. We just have Torah. We don't. I will be if we need help. So we'll go to the offices of Agudas Yisrael, but I didn't go there to help to arrange a discount on our known. I went to Nachman Rutner in the office of Agudas Yisrael in Rehov Press. And a lot of other people were there. So what are we doing? Good. I don't know. So what I really wanted to say was something else. That Reb Dov Schwarzman was really one of the Gedolei Hador Mamish. Now this person, and he was also one of the geniuses Hador, geniuses of the door. I would think that he was a Yochid. I think he was the only one that I heard of ever that could argue with Rabban Kotler. Maybe there were others, but I don't know. So this person is telling me a story. This person that he was metapel with him for a few years, and now he's by my father one day a week. He was telling me that. And then when Reb Dov Schwarzman came to Lakewood, he became Rabban's son-in-law. So they wanted to test him, some avrechim there. So each one learned a certain sugya good, and then they came to Reb Dov to talk and learning on that sugya. So it came out, and each one was clear in the sugya that he learned. Each one, when they talked to him, they saw he was clear in the sugya just as much as they were. Even when he didn't know that they're going to come ask him. He didn't know that they're going to ask him on that sugya. You just you catch somebody comes to me and he starts talking on that sugya. I can't answer. I have to get into it. I have to open the Gemara, I have to learn, I have to get into it. Somebody just shows me something there. Somebody asks something, I can answer. If somebody asks me how big key is, where does it say this, where does it say that? So I know what to answer, I know what to show them. Like a little bit like fooling the world that I'm a Talmud Chacham, so I could say how big key is. But somebody asks me a kasha on a sugya, I can't answer. I have to sit down and open up and look inside and think about it. And even after that, I say, well, maybe you could say. I'm not certain people I know that they say, the pshat is like this. The pshat. I don't know the pshat. I know what maybe you could say. That's the most I can do. But somebody should be able to answer on a few different sugyas and right away on the spot. That's very big. Another thing is that he was able to argue with Rabban, and so this person tells me that Rabban, there's one story about that they asked him on different sugyas. Another story he tells me that Rabban, it's Yadua, that he used to come to Eretz Yisrael on different inyanim of Klal Yisrael. He used to come visit Eretz Yisrael. And he used to say, whenever he came, they were mechabed him to say a shir in the different yeshivas, different places. When he came to Hebron Yeshiva, he said a shir, and Reb Dov Schwarzman was a bocher at the time. So he said to Rabban, well, I think you can learn the sugya a different way, and he said this and this. And Rabban was all shaken up. Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, wow, look at this. Yeah, right, you can learn it this way. The only one that was able to get Rabban like that was him. I don't know if anybody else could do such a thing to Rabban, the big genius of the generation. I was a genius. I mean, I'm not just saying it because I know what they say. I hear what people say. I saw some of the Torah of Rabban. In fact, now and we're learning the Shabbos, the beginning of Shabbos. I'm looking at that. at the Torah of Rab Aaron on the Inyanim Avot. So it's genius, it's brilliant, the connecting this and that, all the sugyas together at once. It's not just taking one sugya, another sugya. All the sugyas of Otzah together, he's saying them. Now, that's what this person was telling me about. And like sometimes you hear a story, you just hear it and you go on. And sometimes a person is in a certain mood, and he hears it different. There's, not everybody. Some people are always in the same mood, and some people have ups and downs like me. And that day, I had a certain feeling after hearing that story. This was in the morning, at 9 in the morning, when I got there to meet the person that is taking care of my father. And he told me these stories. And then at night, I went to my son Yosef, and I was saying what I was feeling. And my son Yosef agreed with me. By me, that's a big thing. So I told him these stories, and I was all cooking up. I said, what are we supposed to learn from these stories? What are we supposed to learn? The only thing we could learn from it is that Hashem sends geniuses to the world. Hashem takes a certain neshama, like the Gemara says in Nida, Tipa Zuma Te'aleh Chachama O Tipish Vilu Tzadik V'Rosha Lo Kama. As the Malach HaMamuna LaHeroyon on pregnancy asks Hashem, what should be with this Tipa, what should come out of it? Chacham O Tipish. Tzadik V'Rosha, he doesn't ask, because anybody could choose himself to be a tzaddik or a Rasha. That's Bechira. I'm saying, so what am I supposed to learn? What's a small person like me supposed to say in such a story? He can answer in every sugya on the spot. He could compete with Rabban. Wow, so great, so big. What am I? A little ant. A little person that read some pages of Gemara and remembers them. What else could I do? I never in my life was able to hear a shir from the beginning to the end. My mind always wandered. And to hear a shir and be able to ask in the middle, of course not. And whenever I have to say something, it takes me a whole week just to squeeze out one little piece of kasha not there to say in front of them. And even then, afterwards, I say, oh, what did I say? Who says it's any good what I said? So what am I supposed to learn from such a story? What do I get out of this story? But it's more than that. There's a feeling when you say over these are, you talk about a person, Adam Gadol, and Behemes, he was Adam Gadol B'Torah. When you talk about it, so the feeling is, that's the heroes that's our heroes. That's the Adam HaShalom. That's what you're supposed to reach. That's what you're supposed to strive towards. That's Shleimus. And all of us, we're working towards that. But of course we'll never get there. Deep down we have this feeling inside of us, we'll never get there. But wow, that's really great. He's really big. That's the feeling that you get. No. What does that help for Avodas Hashem? Is that going to cause any more nachas ruach for Hashem? Nothing. It's just now I want to add something to this. And this reminds me of a medrash. It's a famous medrash, but the end of the medrash is not so famous. Medrash is in Rus Rabbah Parsha Hey. So it says here in the pasuk Vayitzbat Lo Koli, that when Rus came to the field and Boaz talked to her and said to her, you should stay in my field, don't go to other fields. And then when it came time to eat lunch, so she sat down beside that kotrim, and he gave her a little, so the medrash says there, Vayitchbot lo koli, he gave her some popcorn. Koli there, we gave it with 2 fingers, a little bit in the 2 fingers. The Medrash says further there was a bracha in it. And the Medrash says, Amarisik by Marion, the Pasuk teaches us when you do a mitzvah, you should do it b'leiv shalom. And this is a famous Medrash. Ilu haya Reuven Yodea. Now get the last week's parsha. If Reuven would have known that it's going to be written in the Torah, Vayishma Reuven Etzleo Miyodom, B'kseifu, he would carry him on his shoulders. What? Just to say, Shlichosha Laborat, and then we'll see later, he'll save him. He didn't know. He didn't know how great his Maisha was. He didn't know that it's such a big Maisha, so important, so great, that the Torah is going to write it. It's going to become a posik in the Torah, what he did. Vayishma Reuven Tzileu Miyodam. If he would have known that, for him, he would carry him on his shoulders. He would do a lot more. And if Aaron would have known that it's going to be written in the Torah, V'racha v'samach b'libo, you see Moshe coming back from Midian, he would be happy. He's happy that his brother Moshe, which was younger than him, that he was Zocheh to Nevuah. He's not going to be Mekana, not going to be jealous. He's not going to feel any pain. The Torah is going to say Eidus on Aaron, Hashem, that he knows how to Bochen Levovos. Hashem will say Eidus, V'racha v'somach v'libo. He has no mashu of jealousy to his brother Moshe. Adrabah, he's going to be besimcha that he sees Moshe Rabbeinu Zocheh to Nevuah. So if he would have known that that's what the Torah would write on him, he would go out betupim u'b'mecholos, he would do much more. And if Boaz would have known that the Navi is going to write on him, he gave her 2 fingers of popcorn. So he would have said, he would have given her agolos too much. He would have given her fat calves. He would have given her a big meal of steak. He would have fed her. But he didn't know a person. They knew they're doing the right thing. They knew they're doing a good thing. But it's that far it should reach, that the Torah is going to write it. It's going to stay at Sofkot Torah. We're going to learn it every year. And the pshat is that if it becomes part of Torah, that means it's Ein Sof. You could say drushes and drushes Ein Sof on our pasuk in Chumash. Every person has his way of looking at it. If they would have known that, they would have done much more. That's what the Chazal say. Now, look at what it says in the end. This is famous, this Medrash. But the end, the Medrash says, Rab Kohen, Rabbi Shua Sichlim, B'Shem Rab Levi. So they say, Lishovar. In the time of the Nevi'im, a person did a Maaseh. Novi wrote it in the Sifrei HaKodesh, in the Kisvei HaKodesh, when Novi goes. But now, when somebody does a mitzvah, who's going to write it now? Who writes it, the Medrash says. What do you mean, who writes it? It's written, and Hashem writes it. What's the question? Well, since he says, who writes it? Eliyahu HaNavi, Melech HaMashiach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Chosim Al Yedeim. They write it, Eliyahu HaNavi and Mashiach, and Hashem signs it. And the Medrash brings the pasuk, Oz Nidru Yer Hashem Yishareu, V'yakshiv Hashem V'yishma V'yikosuv Sefer Zikaron Lefanov, L'yirei Hashem L'chosh V'yishmo. Saying like this. It tells stories about this big person, this big genius, this Gadol Hador that we have, that we're small ants in his presence. A mean, I once walked with him home from shul in Har Nov. He was staying by his daughter. I said something. I mean, I saw that even a busha, my sichas chulin is not even, is like dust in front of him. And here, and I felt humiliated once for just talking to him. But I'm asking a question. Good, he was very big. But who's going to tell the stories of simple Yidden that were Moshe and Nefesh for Yiddishkeit? That they gave away everything for Yiddishkeit. They took Yiddishkeit seriously. I'm talking about years ago I know a man, Mr. Trepp. He was one of the most erliche balabatim I ever saw in my life. I mean, the most erliche balabas I would say that I ever met. He told me that he was coming. He managed to escape from Germany in the beginning of the Hitler regime. He was in a concentration camp in those years before the war started. And he managed to get out after a month and a half or something like that. They still, it wasn't like later after the war started. There were some that got out. He got out and he went to England, which was also a big siyata d'shmaya. And he was alone. He left his parents behind. He never saw them again. He was a teenager. And he went to work in a factory, an ammunition factory. And came Shabbos, came Friday. He said he has to go home early, and he's not working on Shabbos. And the manager of the factory said to him, you know that we're in a war now against Germany, and you know that if the Germans get here to England, they're going to take you Jew, they're going to take you. Me, they're not going to take. I'm a goy, they're not going to take me, they're going to take you. And you're helping us fight the war against the Germans by working in this factory of ammunition. So when you're not working on Shabbos? So he said, I don't know, just do with me whatever you want. I'm not working on Shabbos, finished. And I don't know what happened. I don't know the rest of the story. Yid was Moshe Nefesh to keep Shabbos. Yid came to Eretz Yisrael in the end of his life, last 20 years of his life, and he sat and learned, and he was such a weak mind. His kishronos were so weak. In Yiddish, you say verstopft. His brain was stopped up. And he used to say the Gemara, and he insisted he has to read the Gemara. And he used to say it over and over and over again. And he wasn't sure he understands, and he would say it over and over again. It drove me crazy. And I couldn't talk because he had to talk. I would help him, I would correct him, but he would say, I mean, that's, according to his level, that's called Yigiyah B'Torah. So, who's gonna write the greatness of these people? Who's gonna write the Mesiras Nefesh that this kind of person had for Yiddishkeit? Well, who's gonna know? Who's gonna talk about it? He kept Shabbos. No, we all keep Shabbos. No, so what? Hello, what? He was Moshe Nefesh for the Shabbos. Yeah, right, it's a big thing, but you don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. It's not with the same. It's not awesome to us. It's not. They don't talk about it with the same awe like you talk about these kind of big geniuses that there were. But it's not true. We could also have Mesiras Nefesh for Yiddishkeit in our way. We could also make effort for Yiddishkeit. Just imagine if we would be makabel on ourselves that on Shabbos we don't talk empty talk. I'm not talking about the madrigas of not talking any dwarm but Talim on Shabbos, making a dynasty, but that's already, even that is a madriga for us. There are people, it could be, they say Rav Steinberg didn't talk on Shabbos, maybe. Let's say, I'm not talking about that kind of madrig, but just to be more COVID rosh, more seriousness on Shabbos. It's a bechina of mesirus nefesh by people like us. Not to sit by the table and make late sonas like I do. It's also a bechina.
Rabbi Kaplan, I don't think I'm protesting. You're mavazi a Talmud Chacham.
Oh. I'm sorry, but or other things. Let's say to get the show a little bit earlier, I'm gonna have to race through the davening. Or sometimes you're tired. I get tired. I fall asleep in the middle of the learning. So to stand, maybe to stand and not so you won't fall asleep. It's all little pools of mesirus nefesh. Giving some the effort is called mesirus nefesh. We can't be like in the generation of the Inquisition. I once was thinking, when I was young, I was thinking this. You hear stories about the Inquisition, mesirus nefesh. What does it mean to be burnt at the stake? Who knows what it means? Who can imagine? And man, we just recently I read in this book from Rav Wallis, from the head of Arachim, that he wrote a book. It's called Incredible in English, and he tells about his life story. And he tells about how he was in Spain and he searched in the archives of the Inquisition, and he found the file of his great grandfather in Spain. How he was burnt at the stake. Not just burnt over there. They put the fire next to him. They roasted him. You can't imagine what it is. And so that is neshama. My mom is like Rabbi Hanina ben Trajan. That neshama shouldn't go out so fast. And what shaykhs do we have to such kedoshei alien? But no, Hashem didn't give us that tafkid. Hashem didn't send that neshamas down to this world for that kind of mesirus nefesh. We're the door of the small generation, the Evan Masu Abonim we are. The Evan, the Leva Evan, the heart is stopped up like a stone. Masu Abonim, the previous generations looked at us and they said, what are they? Such small people. Our generation is going to be the one that brings Mashiach. Dafka, we're going to be Mekabel Pnei Mashiach. We're finishing the end of all the tikkunim of the Klal Yisrael. We are finishing with our small maisim. We're the door of small maisim. There's a big nisayon to not to learn in the middle, not to look at anything in the middle of Chazar Sashat. Just imagine what greatness it takes. Like I know of, I remember I had a Rebbe, Rav Nosson Visky. He would look in the Siddur, the whole Chazar Sashat. He would follow the Chazar Sashat from inside the Siddur. And I heard that Reb Chaim Kanievsky also does that. The Mishnah Brura brings that the Charedim Ledvar Hashem. So that's what they do. They look in the Siddur in the middle. I do a different meaning I made for myself recently. To close my eyes during Chazar Sashat. It's also a stickle effort. That these kind of mesirus nefesh and mesirus harotzen, who said, I think Rav Steinman might have said, nowadays there's no mesirus nefesh, there's mesirus luxus, giving away luxuries. Yeah, right. That's what Hashem wants from our generation, giving away luxury. And especially, and by the way, I just saw, I think we talked about it when Reb Chaim Kanievsky in his Musar Sefer, he says, if somebody learned in the middle of, he says, Shnai Mikra Vechad Targum, in the middle of Chazar Tzashat, it could be it's a mitzvah above Avera, and maybe he's not yet, so he has to do it again. Yeah, did you hear that?
Yes?
You must have heard of it, yeah.
One of my sugyas, yes.
Oh, so it's also a nice sign to, maybe we could call it the Avodah of Chazar Sashat. By the way, according to the Arizal, it's a higher level than the Quiet Shemon Esrei, and it's a big thing, Chazar Sashat. What are we mezalzel in it? Our generation is a generation of small things, and that bothered me in that day, and I told my son,
Rabbi
and he understood
Rabbi Kaplan.
What?
Oh, well, I just want to say a word I said about this a long time ago. I said to you, this is the Bechinas Gadol HaOynish Al Lavan Yoter Mi HaOynish Al Techeles.
Oh.
You were going to say this? Or?
No, I wasn't.
So it's an important
That the Onish of Lavan is bigger because Lavan is much easier to find.
Yeah.
So he's saying Chazar Sashat is much easier because you just stand there and listen. What?
Yeah.
That's right. Also, you see, on one hand, it's much easier. Who's asking you to do anything? Just be quiet and listen. On the other hand, there's such a Yetzer Hara on it that it's like the harder thing to do. So, I'm saying these are the nishadas of our generation. I mean, I'm Baruch Hashem, I'm not out in the streets. I don't know. There must be much bigger nishadas. I don't go to Ben Yehuda. I used to hear American boys years ago. They come here for a year from weak families. Used to talk. It was a big nishayan. You had to go to Ben Yehuda, not to go to Ben Yehuda at night. Baruch Hashem, I'm not in that union. But we're talking about B'nai Torah. B'nai Torah, that they talk about the greatness of Gedolim. These people, we're talking about these kind of people that we're interested in that. And you talk about these things, and all of a sudden you think, those that have to do with me. Only what he was big, he was great. Right, so what? What's that? So what's it? That's his business, his olamah, but what's that have to do with me? What little things does have to do with me? The stories about the one that was Moshe Nefesh for Shmiras Shabbos. He just said, I don't know. He didn't answer. And another thing, when the guy said to him, the Germans will take you, he didn't answer any brilliant answer. I don't know, maybe we could think of some brilliant answer to answer. No, he didn't say anything brilliant. Didn't say anything. He just said, I don't know. Do with me what you want. Too bad. I don't know. I just Ivri Anochi, like it says by Yonah. Ivri Anochi. V'Hashem Elokei Hashemayim Ani Yoreh. That's all. What are you telling me? Germans, yeah, come, not come. They'll take. Who they'll take? I don't know. I know we have a Torah. We have a Shabbos. We can learn from that. What do you mean, like so we feel that we're in a certain situation, like in the wrong environment, the wrong yeshiva, the wrong ashkafa, the wrong derech halimud, but who told that? Maybe I need a psychologist to tell me, to straighten me out, maybe I need a H and this and that. Who says you need aids? Who says you need a psychologist? Just sit and be goris. Like the Rambam says, every shakud loma Torah, the Mishnah and Pirkei Avos, hasmodas hakriya. You read the Rambam, it sounds like even less than oversimplifying. simplifying, double simplifying. Hafmadas Akriya, to read a lot. To read a lot of words, a lot of holy words. The Rambam, the great, brilliant mind, the Rambam, he makes it so simple. Havei shakud lilmud Torah, hasmadas akriya. If you know Hebrew, if you understand the language, you get the feeling of how simple the Rambam is making it. That's what they're asking from us. Not to solve any problem. Just simple, just hasmadas akriya. Just read. Eventually Hashem will get you out of this. But no, these stories tell us brilliant, genius, big, gadol. There's sometimes you see these big people out, they look down on the Pasha to Yidna. There's much more you could learn from a Pasha to Yid. There's a story Reb Meir says over a lot of times in America, I don't know when, in the 20s, that there was a Yiddishkeit was weak, and there was almana, and she had a son, and she couldn't afford to send him to Cheder or whatever it was. And he grew up, he went to public school, and one day was Nisara. I have to learn Torah. What'll be with me was, I don't know, he was 10, 11 years old. His mother had to work all day to bring parnasa. He decided he'll go to a cheder. He went, he walked in the snow for an hour, 2 hours, whatever it was. And he came in there and said to him, I want to be accepted in the cheder. So the man said, yeah, okay, what did you learn? What do you know? I don't know anything. I just know how to read Hebrew, that's all. So he said...
Past 11 at night.
So he said... So the man said, but boys your age, they already start learning Gemara. How could we accept you? So he said, I don't mean to put me in with my age group. I mean, you'll put me in the first grade with the little children where they learn Aleph Beis. They learn Chumash, they start Quran. I'll learn with them until I start picking up. So, Manal was uncomfortable with that. So he said, well, there's no room in the classroom. Come, I'll show you. And he took him, he showed him the classroom of the first grade, and there's no room yet. The Bamis was no room. So the boy, the 10 or 11-year-old boy said to the Manal, okay, you won't accept me, don't accept me, but write me a note that you didn't accept me, that I tried to learn here to be accepted, you didn't accept me because there was no room to sit. Said, yeah, what do you do? What do you need such a note for? What are you going to do with it? Says, I'm going to take it with me when I leave this world. I'll take it with me, and I'll go meet my father in Gan Eden. So my father asked me, did you learn Torah? I'll say to him, I wanted to learn Torah, but they didn't accept me in the cheder because they said there's no room. My father in Gan Eden will say to me, what? We're talking about Torah. We're talking about Chochmas HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're talking about connecting to Hashem through Limud HaTorah. It's such problems. They make a difference if there's yet place, not place. Because of that, a Yid would not accept the Talmud into a cheder because there's no room when you're talking about Torah. My father won't believe such a thing in Gan Eden. It's a different language they talk over there. So I want this note. You'll write me a note. I'll go and I'll show it to my father in Gan Eden so that he'll believe me. And our daddy got scared. He thought he was Erlich Yid. He Reshamayim, so he heard that he got scared. Okay, he said, okay, there'll be place, everything will work out, don't worry about it. They accepted him, and he learned, and he grew, and at the end, he grew up, he became a Rebbe himself, and when he taught, he was always, for emphasis, gave the most attention to the weaker Talmidim, because he knew what it means. That's the door that we're living in. That's a Maisa. That's a Maisa that we could learn from, that we could be inspired from, that somebody knew nothing, but he felt the value of Torah. Look at the value of Torah. He was able to talk like this. It's hard to believe that a boy that he doesn't know anything could talk such a language, could say such words, understand what the value of Torah is, that he needs a note. He can't believe such a thing, that there's no place you don't accept a Talmud because of that. That's a story for inspiration. That's a story. And that we know how to learn, and we have a Gemara in front of us, and we have the time, and we have what to eat, and we're not hungry, and we have time, and we have a Gemara. No, so sit and learn. How can you waste your time and sit and talk about all kinds of shtuyot? That's a Maisa that should inspire, and we should think about it over and over again. But what do I get from these stories about the brilliant geniuses that were so big? And the feeling good. Hashem should help us. We should pick ourselves up a little bit. And we'll help. We'll be Zazabakarov to be made from the Bamas, from the Mekabla, the name of Mashiach Tzidkenu. And we should be so not to be able to have with what to be Mekabel Pornov. We shouldn't have Busha, the neighbors when he call him the Olam.
Amen, amen. Thank you, Rabbi Kaplan.